Good morning. All right, it always takes twice because the first time everybody's chatting and only a third of the folks respond. So good morning. Awesome, much better, thank you. So this morning we have, rather than an opening keynote, we have more of an opening plenary. I'm glad you all made it this morning. We have three of us that'll be speaking. Myself, Dr. Deborah Dent, who you heard from last night if you were at the reception, and then the president and CEO of Internet2, Tripti Sinha. And we want to share some ideas with you about what's going on within the MSCC program over the last year, the MSCC consortium as an organization, and then the urgency that we have really to work together to collaborate across the current landscape. As we begin today, we do want to acknowledge and pay tribute to the original inhabitants of this land. The city of New Orleans is a continuation of an indigenous trade hub on the Mississippi River for many thousands of years known as Bulbancha. And so native peoples, indigenous peoples have lived on this land since time immemorial. And the resilient voices of the Native Americans, they remain an inseparable part of our local culture here. And so with gratitude and honor, we acknowledge those indigenous nations that have lived and continue to thrive here. A different kind of acknowledgement, we also want to acknowledge the National Science Foundation and the funding that they provide that makes the work possible that we do with this community through the vision and the purpose of the Minority Serving Cyber Infrastructure Consortium that you'll hear more about. So you made it here. You actually made it back from Bourbon Street last night if you were at the reception and went out and came back. We're glad you're here. There are 58 institutions, organizations covering historically black colleges and universities, tribal colleges, universities, predominantly black institutions, and many other organizations, all gathered here to convene, to share, and to collaborate together across 4 days. We're in day 2, if you're counting. This is day 2. Yesterday was day 1. And we come together as one community this week. And so I look forward to what comes of this week and the sharing and the collaboration and the ideas that come that will sustain us into the future. Once again, thank you to these 6 sponsors for their sponsorship of the reception last night and the poster session and reception that will be tomorrow night. Thanks to them, we're able to have a bit of food and drink at our receptions, and so we say thank you to them. And then thank you to the program committee. If any of you have been on an event, at an event, you know that the planning for that event starts months prior, and it takes a good program committee, and these individuals committed their time and their efforts to envisioning what could be here this week, reviewing proposals, soliciting proposals, reviewing those proposals, and putting and crafting this program for you, an amazing program. And so if your name is on this slide and you were one of the program committee members, would you stand for just a moment and let us acknowledge you? Thank you. We appreciate your work. So the theme for this week is the rhythm of collaboration. And if you were down on Bourbon Street last evening, you know, there's the percussionists, and there are the saxophones, and there's the brass, and they all have this beat, but they come together to create this rhythm, and that's like us. We come from very diverse organizations, very diverse institutions. No two are alike, but together we come to share and to learn from each other, and to collaborate and to build something, and that together creates this rhythm that I think will sustain us. And so this week, embrace that, embrace the coming together and the rhythm that we're going to create as a community. It's now my privilege, again, 2 times in 2 days, that I get to introduce Dr. Deborah Dent, who is the chair of our Consortium Leadership Board for the MSCC. Dr. Dent?
All right. And you've introduced me 2 times, and both times I asked for my intro music. And I didn't get my intro music. I was expecting Get Ready, you know. Okay, but good morning. Okay, now I have this thing that everybody knows me for, and it's that I'm from the South, and in the South, we just kind of like really greet each other, and we participate with each other, and I'm going to be looking around the room, and I expect for you to be smiling at me, so I'm going to say it again. Good morning. Good morning. All right, I'm like the choir director here, right? The rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm. Okay, so I am Deborah Dent. I'm the CEO. No, I'm not. Oh, my president gonna kill me. We have a new president. I hope this is not being recorded. But anyway, I am the CIO of Jackson State University, which is located in Jackson, Mississippi, which is only about 2.5 hours up the road. So if you get a chance, come by and visit us. Okay, so I'm here, and I'm also part of the board. And I'm also one of the founding members of the MSCC. So let me see what I got next. So let me tell you a little bit about how it all started. I want you to envision this. Back in like 2018, can y'all remember that far back? Some of you weren't even born then, right? Okay, but that was pre-COVID, right? And Clemson University had a grant, an NSF grant. And they were, with that NSF grant, it was called the Empower. And so they were working with different HBCUs to help us with NSF, applying for NSF grants. Because we were having a hard time getting the CC Star grants, and we didn't understand why. We were doing everything on that checklist. So they brought us together, and so we started working on that, and then as a result of that, several of us got CC Star grants. Yay, right? Okay, so they had the closing meeting. It was time to say goodbye. And so we had this closing meeting at Georgia Tech. And we were there, and we had all joined together, and we had just connected, and we did not want to leave each other. So that's when we decided that we were going to work together. So you know what we did? We said, this is one thing that's important. We said, okay, we're all HBCUs. We compete hard on the football field, right? And see, at the time, you know, we had Prime, but Prime is gone now. But anyway, we compete hard on the football field. But when it comes to science and collaborating and education and everything about us, we need to work together, right? And then we said we can do more together than we can alone. And so that's been our vision. So we came together, and as you can see, our vision is that we had to sit down and we had to meditate on it. And then we came up with that we were going to be a transformational consortium that promotes advanced cyber infrastructure capabilities. And we wanted to expand it. We were HBCUs, but we said we wanted to include the HSIs and the tribal colleges and other MSI campuses. And we were all about advancing our campuses around the world and research. And at first, you know, you're thinking about CIOs, all we were thinking about was hardware, infrastructure. But no, it's about scientists, data, all of that, right? So that's how we really got started. And I'm not going to read the whole vision, but you can go back and read the vision whenever you get ready. Okay, but we're here to engage as full contributors to the global, not just locally, but the global, worldwide R&E community. So who are we? We are you. You're us. We're all in this together. And what we hear is that we have all kinds of stakeholders, because as I look around the room, at first it used to just be a bunch of CIOs, and then it kind of grew to be, you know, we were just all the nerd patrols, right? Just the techie goon. And so then we started growing, and we had researchers, different educators, and the best part about it, we got students involved. Now that's what we're all about, it's the students, right? We got all kinds of cyber infrastructures, professionals from the community, campus leaders, industry partners. Let's give our industry partners a hand right now. Okay, and also, most important, the NSF, and then, I can't say our partner, Internet2. Okay, see, so as we were going along, we were saying, okay, how are we going to do this? And we were talking to NSF. They wanted to fund us, but we didn't know how we were going to get funded, right? So we had to have a fiscal agent. And so we were talking, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but in the end, Internet2 stepped up to the plate, and they embraced us, and we formed a partnership. So that's how we ended up, and so they were able to manage and now we have a great fearless leader, our PI for the grant and everything. So that's how we all came about. And then we have a consortium leadership board. And so the first slide shows our officers, and let's see, there's only 3 of us here. So Mount, where are you? Okay, stand up. Okay, so Mount is our secretary. Now you know what he does. He keeps us in order. He keeps great minutes, and he constantly reminds us of what we forgot to do. But anyway, we have Joey, who's my right-hand man, and Bobby had to cancel at the last minute. But and he's the treasurer, and Joey's the associate. And then this is our other board members. Okay, all the board members that are here, please stand. Wave your hands. Okay. All right, so we have representation from HBCUs, from our tribal colleges. We're just so excited that we have that. And then we have our governance, and we have our consortium leadership board, and then we have a bunch of subcommittees that help put on and keep us going. And we've had our grants. Remember I told you about the first grant? Okay, then after the first grant, we got the second grant, which has allowed us to, the first grant was a demo, because we were just a demo, and we were able to put on workshops and travel around, and then we increased our staff. So we have a whole team of MSCC staff. If you're a part of the MSCC staff, stand up. You see that? You see that? You see where that happens? Yeah, okay. And then we have other grants. Now, I want to move on real fast, and I want to tell you about where we're going. We're working on right now, and we're just about there, our 501c3 nonprofit organization, okay? And why you want to do that? That's because we want to continue to grow. We want to continue to have impact on the community. So we want to open ourselves up so that we can get contributions from other corporations and other organizations. Now, we're going to stay partners with Internet2. We're not leaving you. There's no way you can get rid of us, right? Yes, but we want to open up and looking for new ideas. Also, here I am. So we've been here for a long time on the board now, as you know, since we started 2018. So now we need some new, fresh ideas. So we're looking for new members for our consortium leadership board. Because you see, and I said it earlier, but I guess I can't say it. I got to be politically correct, right? I can't say that everybody on the board now is old, but I can't say that. I'm not allowed to say that. But we're trying to get some young, and I'm looking right at Peter when I'm saying that, right? I didn't look in the mirror. I don't have a mirror up here. But please, we're looking for you. We're increasing it. We started out with all CIOs, and then we had some researchers, but we have a variety, diverse community now. We have librarians in here, and we have faculty. Oh, we just love the faculty. And so we even need some student representation in there, right? So we're opening it up and we're recruiting. So we're going to continue our expansion and doing things in the community. So we just want to take this time again to say thank you for coming, and thank you for what you're doing now, and thank you for what you're going to do. All right. Okay, now, if you've seen Johnny Carson before, which is, if you look at it on YouTube or something, there was this man called Ed McMahon who would introduce Johnny Carson. So right now, come on up. Here's Mike. And Mike, as our new leader, I'm going to do this thing because I'm a retired government person, and so we used to do like the handshake with the corns, but I'm going to do the handshake with the MSCC pen. You are now officially a part of the MSCC. All right.
Thank you, Deborah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah. We appreciate your enthusiasm and your smile, and it's hard to follow somebody that has that much enthusiasm and smiles that much. So yes, for a brief moment now, you get to hear from me, and you saw my title, Principal Investigator. Every NSF grant has to have a principal investigator, and Tripti asked me if I would perform that role earlier this year, and so I'm happy to do that and partner with Deborah and the rest of the MSCC Leadership Board, ensuring that those funds that we get from the National Science Foundation have the most significant and the greatest impact possible in this community in at least 3 different ways that we will talk about. So those funds, the grant funds that we get, and in partnership with the vision from the consortium, really manifest itself in at least these 8 ways, and including this annual meeting every year. And we want to talk through these different ways that these different programs, these different initiatives. Some of you in here are participating in these, and we'll have an opportunity to recognize you. Some of you are here for the first time and perhaps aren't aware of some of these, and through this conversation now and the conversations over the next 2 days, I hope that you see an opportunity for you to get involved in one of these different ways. And so if you are here for the first time within this community, if you've never been to an annual meeting before, if you'd stand up. Look at that. That's amazing how much this community is growing. That's fantastic. So thank you for being here. And if you weren't standing, it's your responsibility. The call to action to you is to work with those folks that just stand up, help make them feel a part of this community, and be present this week with them. So it's fun, it's fantastic to have all of you here. And as you can see with all the folks that's standing, this community continues to grow. And this year, now we're up to 300, almost, I think by now we're probably over 350 institutions that are actual members of the MSCC consortium. Last year and up through, and in 2026 already, we've had over 180 attendees at the community of practice sessions, and if you're not sure what those are, we'll talk about those in a bit. And speaking of the students that Deb mentioned, the enthusiasm by them for participation is incredible, and we'll talk about the internships in a bit. But we had over 150 applications to participate in those internships. Incredible response. One of the ways that we show up within the community is through these workshops, and these are from 2025. We have several on the on-ramp, and you'll see those coming out later in the summer or this fall. Some workshops. These are hosted by our partners, partner institutions, member institutions, and they are usually a 1.5 to 2 day events where people come together and they're around a topic, around something to do with cyber infrastructure, real world applications of that, And so these investments allow people, we know that it's challenging to get together in person, but the best way to have an impact and to really connect with each other is in person, and these workshops allow us to do that. One of the other ways that we are investing in the community is through the Research Catalyst program. And this is an investment on a campus with a researcher or a faculty member or librarian who has proposed a way for us to invest within the institution to expose faculty, students, researchers to cyber infrastructure, to adopt that, to raise awareness and training. And then it's almost like seed funding. We do that within the institution, and then that grows across the institution to have a greater impact overall. And so it's a focused way for us to invest in a particular university, and with the hopes that will spread across the university. We had 27 applications. We're in the first year of this. 27 applications, and we've funded 5 of those projects. And I will try to list the schools. Hampton University, Hammond University, Meharry Medical College, Benedict, and North Carolina A&T. Did I get it right? Oh, Howard! Oh my gosh, there's so many people from Howard here, and I forgot. Oh my gosh, so sorry. Those are our Research Catalyst programs. They're about halfway through the progress on those programs, and We provide them guidance as to what they need to do to make course corrections or how we can best support them in realizing the goals of those programs. Another way we invest is these proof of concept grants. It's a little bit of a different idea where we invest at the institutional level, generally with the IT programs within an institution. And so we have 3 different active programs, 2 with universities and 1 with a collaborative. So with Jackson State, Salish Kootenai in Montana, and then the Nashville Collaborative of the 4 institutions that you see listed there. And the idea there is to elevate at an institutional level the infrastructure, often through adoption of EduRoam, Wi-Fi, or network connectivity, or the adoption of the In-Common Federation. And if those are words that you're not familiar with within your space, talk to myself, talk to any of the board members, talk to the Internet2 or MSCC staff, and we'll help you understand the roles that those different tools and services can help play at your institution and having an impact. These are some of the types of things that are going on at these 3 different, within these 3 different programs. And again, they're around RNA, facilitation, infrastructure, implementation, and really having an impact at the institutional level to help these institutions become a more active member of the global R&E community. We also offer a technical webinar series. Again, we can't always gather in person, and so we offer this virtually, but around technical topics. And our partner, one of our sponsors, Jetstream, for the receptions, Jetstream2 out of Indiana University will be doing one in November. There will be other of these announced. And so if you are a part of the community and on the email list, you'll get emails about these and find out about them, but you can join, and they're really focused on technical solutions and how you potentially can adopt those at your institution. This spring, just this last April, we launched the Resource Center. Our web team, in collaboration with all of the staff, have put together the blogs that with the digital content that we've been creating and capturing, whether that's blogs and insights or best practices. Often a lot of that is driven out of this community and sharing what they've done, how they've adopted the solutions. We've compiled that and put that in a resource center that's available on the web. And if you're a member of the community and you go out and you go to the website and you do find the drop down for the resource center, you'll log in and you'll have access to all of this content. And I know that everybody here is actually a member of the community because you had to be in order to register for this event. So go out there, take a look at those resources, and they really can speak to you and your institution about where you're at in your journey, and how you can then begin to adopt or become aware of many of these different solutions and services. So this year, for the first time, we have an AI webinar series. There would not be a technology or cyber infrastructure event that's worth its weight right now if you didn't have the 2 letters A and I together in the event. And so we have that thanks to Amanda and Pavan. They have put together a series of these webinars. They just did the second one last week about workflows and no coding needed. And so the next one's coming up in about a month, but an opportunity to learn more about the adoption of AI on your campus. And then our student hackathons. We've held 2 so far in partnership, again, with some of our members, Fort Valley State and West Virginia State, where teams of students come together to solve a challenge. And these are real-world challenges with real-world tools, whether that's around cybersecurity and securing air quality remote sensing devices, or whether it's around AI and smart farming and cyber infrastructure in that realm. And those teams compete, and at the end, one of them has announced the winner, and I guess at Fort Valley State they had a really cool prize. They gave away Lenovo Chromebooks. I think I met this last evening at the reception at least one individual who was on one of these teams. If you are a student here and you participated in one of these 2 hackathons, would you stand up? Awesome. Congratulations. And you were on the winning team, right? Yeah, awesome. Very good. That's great. the hackathons and these other activities really are meant to invest in the next generation of technologists and researchers and adopters of the cyber infrastructure and being a part of this community, leaders within our community. And one way that we do that is through our internship program. And that internship program begins this week. It's a 10-week immersive program hosted by Fisk University and in partnership with Meharry. Alexia, are you here? There's Alexia. She runs the program and coordinates that with the sponsoring institutions as well as all of the students. And we had 155 applications this year, the most we've ever had. Less than 10% of those then were able to be awarded these internships. Not only do these students go spend 10 weeks in this immersive program and becoming familiar with research computing and the use of these tools, but they also get to attend PERC, which is Practice and Experience in Advanced Research Computing. And that PERC conference is really the premier event for researchers who are using advanced computing. And so they get to go and attend that at obviously no cost to them and be a part of that and connect with researchers and technologists that are using that, research and computing data professionals. And Lauren, I know, is here. Lauren has a big role, and Timothy have a big role in PERC, so wave, because then people know who to look for so they can ask you about PERC. But we provide that opportunity for those students to go as a workforce development opportunity. And so it's my privilege and pleasure to announce to you the 15 young people that will be participating, that were selected to participate in this program. Now, most of them aren't here this week because they have to show up to Fisk on Friday. But I think there's at least a couple of them here. Is there any of them in the room with us? There we are. Congratulations. We're glad you're here this week at the beginning, and I think you have to leave and get home and change and then start on your internship. So these are the faces of the future within our community, and not just the MSCC community, but the global R&E community. And it's really a tremendous opportunity and privilege to invest in them. And then finally, a few voices from our community. Perhaps your voice will be up here next year, talking about your experience as part of the internship. It speaks to some of the impact that I think that we're having, the MSCC Consortium Leadership Board, the MSCC community, and then Internet2 in partnership with them are having in this community, and that we will continue to have. So we'll do this in at least these three ways, and Deborah mentioned those earlier. We want to invest at the institutional level so that we can advance cybersecurity maturity on campuses, so that we can really, all of those institutions can really be, your institutions can be a part of the global R&E community. That investment is really important. And we've been doing that in an intensive way at individual institutions. We're now talking about broader impact across multiple institutions, whether that's through network access or identity and access management. I know our team sent out a survey about identity and access management and the adoption of InCommon. Again, if you're not familiar with that, we'd be happy to talk with you, and the power that comes with being a part of the InCommon Federation or EduRoam. And so if you're interested in those things, please talk to us this week. And that's the opportunity to have a wider impact across multiple institutions of building the community, but investments. Also workforce development with the students that we just talked about, and through the hackathons. And then third, through community building, through events like this, whether these events that we do are online or in person, and building that community out, as Dr. Dent said. The ultimate goal being to have that positive impact. So I look forward to the rest of this year and all the activities that are coming. And I look forward to all of your participation, especially those that are here for the first time, maybe just becoming aware of all of these things. It's now my privilege to introduce to you our still relatively new President and CEO of Internet2, Tripti Sinha. Tripti has been with us since October of this past year and really has challenged us to become even more a part of this community. And so please join me in welcoming Tripti Sinha.
Okay, can you hear me? Thank you, Mike. Good morning. Welcome to New Orleans, and thank you for participating in the MSCC annual meeting. It was wonderful to meet many of you at the opening reception last evening, and I look forward to a wonderful week of meetings, engaging and learning with all of you. I am excited to be here today because I believe that events like this one matter deeply. They matter because of who is in the room, as was said by Deb and by Mike. Look around. We've got campus leaders, CIOs, IT professionals, researchers, faculty, students, and partners who support the work of the research and education community. And they're all gathered in the same space for the same purpose: to collaborate, to share and learn from each other. I think this is especially important considering the environment we find ourselves in today. So the challenges facing higher education and the R&E community right now are not niche IT problems. They are not budget line items that will sort themselves out. They are structural, cultural, and political. And they are all converging at once. Every person in this room is feeling them, possibly from different perspectives, but we're all feeling them. So here, this is what we're up against, and I thought I'd talk about it briefly. We are living through a cultural moment in which the value of a college degree, the independence of the research enterprise, and the public mission of universities are being questioned. Enrollment pressures and a loud national conversation about the irrelevance of higher education are putting institutions on the defensive. At the same time, the federal funding landscape is shifting. Funding is facing significant reductions. Grant programs are consolidating. Priorities are changing faster than institutions can keep up with. And the pace of technology is accelerating like never before. And on top of all of this, budget cuts, reduced travel, and staff reductions, where teams are being asked to do more with less, while the technology landscape grows exponentially more complex. The impact on morale is real. I hear it everywhere I go, in every listening session, every meeting, and just about every event I attend. For HBCUs, TCUs, HSIs, and other minority-serving institutions, these pressures are not new. Your institutions have long operated under constrained budgets, with lean teams, and without resources that larger, better-resourced universities take for granted. Despite these challenges, you have seen remarkable success and have had significant impact. And that resilience is exactly what this community brings to this moment. I would like to speak to the theme of this conference, the rhythm of collaboration, which is so fitting and timeless in nature. Collaboration in higher education and research is not optional. It is a fundamental imperative that drives discovery, expands knowledge, and enables us to solve challenges no single institution can address alone. When we bring together diverse expertise, perspectives, and resources, we do more than accelerate innovation. We unlock the full potential of our collective capabilities. In a time when knowledge drives economies, innovation shapes societies, and collaboration defines progress, we must confront a fundamental question. Who has access to the tools that make discovery possible? In this era defined by rapid technological transformation, the question before us is not whether innovation will shape our future, it is who will have the opportunity to shape it and how we will shape it together. Internet2 is committed to advancing research and education through world-class cyber infrastructure. Our mission is rooted in a simple but powerful belief that every institution, every researcher, and every student deserves the opportunity to participate fully in the global research and education ecosystem. Yet, that opportunity remains constrained, not by talent, not by ambition, but by access. The spirit of inquiry, the drive to innovate, and the commitment to learning exist in every corner of higher education. What differs is the level of resourcing. And in today's digital, data-driven world, resourcing increasingly means access to advanced cyber infrastructure, high-speed networks, cloud computing, data platforms, cybersecurity frameworks, evolving technologies such as artificial intelligence and quantum, and collaborative research environments. Without these foundational capabilities, institutions are not simply disadvantaged, they are excluded from full participation in modern research and education. At Internet2, we view cyber infrastructure, advanced services, and seamless federation of resources as the backbone of the research and education ecosystem. We are expanding access to high-performance networks that enable effortless collaboration. We are supporting institutions in adopting the tools and technologies needed for AI and data-intensive research. We are fostering communities where knowledge is shared and partnerships are formed. It enables scientists to collaborate across continents, students to access immersive learning environments, and institutions to contribute meaningfully to global discovery. But when this backbone is unevenly distributed, the entire ecosystem suffers. But we cannot do this alone. Policymakers and funding agencies play a critical role in prioritizing sustained investment in cyber infrastructure and in programs that support minority-serving institutions. These investments are not just expenditures, they are catalysts for collaboration and innovation. This very meeting, the coming together of this community, is possible because of funding by the National Science Foundation. University leaders have the opportunity to build partnerships that extend beyond traditional boundaries, to integrate their institutions into broader research ecosystems, and to champion inclusive collaboration. Researchers can lead by example, forming collaborations that are intentionally inclusive and that leverage diverse perspectives. And students who are both the beneficiaries and the drivers of this ecosystem can seek out and advocate for opportunities to engage, collaborate, and innovate. As the technology landscape continues to evolve, the gap between those who can participate and those who cannot will widen if we do not act. And with that gap comes a loss, not just for individual institutions, but for the entire ecosystem. This milestone year finds us at an inflection point, shaped by powerful forces that are remaking our world. The transformative rise of AI, as Mike just mentioned, and adjacent frontier technologies that augment human intelligence, a profound shift in the national political landscape, and a global order that is being fundamentally redefined. I will share some of my thoughts on a high-level view of the technology landscape in 2026 and what the future may enable for the full breadth of the R&E community. As key technologies mature, we are living through a new era of capability that is reshaping our work on multiple fronts. They come as opportunities and challenges. We must seize this moment to deliberately shape our collective future. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant concept. It is here. What began as a proof of concept has become a proof of impact challenge. The issue is no longer whether AI is capable. Powerful models are abundant, with innovation accelerating rapidly. Our real challenges are how to leverage AI to advance our missions, measure its value, govern it effectively, and scale it responsibly. For Internet2, this means understanding how our infrastructure and services must evolve and be enhanced at scale to meet the changing needs of the research and education community. Agentic AI is challenging our existing notions of trust and identity. These autonomous agents act independently and at scale, and they need a robust system for identification, discovery, and secure communication. AI agent registries are emerging quickly, and standards bodies, such as the IETF, are actively exploring proposals like an agent name service alongside other competing approaches. This is a space that demands our attention and one in which we are well positioned to make a meaningful contribution. The cybersecurity landscape is undergoing dramatic change, both promising and perilous. AI now allows us to move from reactive responses to proactive, preemptive defense, making trusted and secure agentic AI automation especially vital for protecting the enterprise. At the same time, agentic AI is amplifying every facet of the threat environment. Domain generation algorithms already enable malware to spin up malicious domains at scale, and generative AI is teaching these systems to continuously improve. We have entered a new era of threats that learn. The breakneck pace of LLM innovation is outstripping traditional oversight, governance, and regulation. As new approaches emerge to manage the identity, trust, and security of AI agents, our governance frameworks must evolve just as quickly. The AI train, in my opinion, has left the station. My worry is that AI is a bullet train while we, as responsible IT practitioners, are following in a steam locomotive. We must accelerate our efforts. We have a growing energy problem. A major challenge for AI today is the enormous power consumption of large models. Some estimates suggest that training a single state-of-the-art system can use as much energy as a small city. As AI enablement expands, our energy science and infrastructure will need to evolve alongside it. This mounting demand is yet another source of pressure on the broader technology landscape. Quantum technologies, such as quantum computing and quantum communication, remain in early, largely experimental stages, with quantum key distribution only beginning to see commercial deployment. General-purpose quantum computers are still pre-commercial and confined to limited pilot use cases. Yet, once they mature, algorithms like Shor's algorithm could effectively break widely used RSA encryption, creating serious security risks. In anticipation of this future, it is wise for us to begin exploring and adopting post-quantum cryptography, also known as PQC. The research and education landscape knows no borders. We collaborate across the globe in a shared spirit of discovery and innovation. Yet, as I said earlier, the world order is shifting, and geopolitics is putting renewed emphasis on technology sovereignty. Our challenge is to preserve open collaboration even as nations seek tighter control over critical digital infrastructure and data. We must pursue solutions that create resilient, interoperable infrastructure so universities and research institutions can continue to work together worldwide despite these pressures. In this evolving environment, federating resources and partnerships remains essential to a truly global R&E ecosystem. During this time of technology maturation, the imperative to collaborate is critical because every institution left out is a voice unheard, a perspective missing, a potential breakthrough unrealized. But the opposite is true. Every institution brought in strengthens the whole system. Every new collaboration expands our capacity. Every investment in parity multiplies our collective potential. This is the future we must build, a future where collaboration defines how we approach discovery, a future where parity ensures that collaboration is inclusive and expansive, a future where the infrastructure we build enables the whole and accelerates true partnership, and a future where innovation reflects the full diversity and strength of our nation's higher education community. Together, we can create a culture where collaboration is not an exception, but the expectation, where institutions are not competing for limited access, but partnering to expand it, where technology is not a barrier, but a bridge. The goal is not simply to bring institutions up to a baseline. The goal is to enable excellence. We envision a future where every institution, regardless of size, location, or designation, has the infrastructure to fully participate in the research and education ecosystem. A future where collaboration is not limited by access, but expanded by it. A future where innovation is driven by the full diversity of thought and experience across higher education. This is not only a moral imperative, it is one that is economic as well. Nations that lead in research and innovation lead in competitiveness. They attract investment, create jobs, and drive technological advancement. By investing in the infrastructure of all institutions, we are investing in the future workforce, in the next generation of researchers, and in the long-term strength of the US economy and American leadership in education, research, and innovation. Moreover, this investment has a multiplier effect. Students who gain access to advanced technologies and research opportunities are better prepared for careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They bring their skills and perspectives into industries that are critical to national security and economic growth. They become the nation's innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. The urgency of this work cannot be overstated. I began today by saying that this room, the people in it, the institutions and roles represented are special. I want to close by saying this: the challenges ahead for our community, for this community, are real and they are significant. The cultural headwinds, the funding shifts, the pace of technological advancement and change, none of these will resolve on their own. Just as you are doing today by being here and engaging in conversations, the institutions and communities that move forward together, that share, collaborate, build on each other's work, and advocate with a unified voice, those are the communities that will define what comes next. Internet2, the MSCC Consortium leadership, and all of you are partners in the future work, through this meeting and through the conversations you have in the next several days. I truly believe the community grows stronger together. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts and vision with you.
Thank you, Tripti. My wand no longer works. Thank you. All right. I'll look over there. I'll make some sign over there when I want you to advance them. You'll know it's like this or like this. Okay. So we're all here. We're about to embark on an amazing week. And if you came and you had no idea why you were here or what to expect, here it is. It's conversations around research capacity, around investing in our cyber infrastructure at a technological level to empower that research, to empower students. It's about community and sharing your experiences with others so they can learn from those, so you can learn from them, and addressing those challenges, the challenges of AI and potential solutions. If you weren't sure where to go this week while you were here, and if you haven't downloaded the app, here it is. Go out to your Play Store or Google, the App Store, and look for CVents. Don't look for MSCC, but look for the CVent Events app, and then download the annual. Search for the annual meeting and download it. It has all the information you'll need. So this week, the challenge that I pose to you, the call to action is for you to all show up. Look around, meet the students that are here, meet your colleagues that are here, share with them what you are doing, the cool things that you have done, the things that you would like to do, because perhaps if you have this challenge, somebody that you're sitting next to at breakfast or at lunch has been working on that challenge. So break out of those groups that we like to sit in. We like to sit comfortably with our colleagues and peers. Sit down at a table, meet someone new, share with them, and learn from them. And let's work together to build this community. So go forth, and let's have an amazing week. Thank you very much.